Hi, this is Alan Pentico, Executive Director of the Southern California Rental Housing Association. This is another one of our interviews in our series that we've been doing with members of the industry, and today we have a very special guest. This is Heidi Marshall. Heidi, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you, Alan, for the invitation. I'm Heidi Marshall. I serve as the Director of the Department of Housing, Homelessness Prevention, and Workforce Solutions here at the County of Riverside.
We are really excited to have you and to talk to you today. We've been partnering with you recently, and we're excited to get more involved in with what you guys are doing up there, and particularly with the COVID situation and the housing and homeless issues that are going on and have been going on for a long time. It's a chance for our members and the members of the industry to see what the county itself is doing to support them and with regarding all the funds and the support in the community and so on. Can you briefly describe your position and your role in department's functions?
Sure. First, let me start by saying that I'm really grateful for your partnership. One of the joys of this position is that I get to work with not just families who participate in our program, but really the folks that open up their homes to the families that need them. And so it's my distinct pleasure to try to connect with the property owners, landlords throughout County of Riverside who make my job a lot easier. And so what I essentially do is, through a team of about 350 other public employees, run a variety of programs that are geared towards ensuring that people have access to affordable housing. And so some of the programs that you might be familiar with include the Housing Choice Voucher Program, or mostly well known as Section 8. We own some units ourselves, run some homeless programs, and then we also work very closely with the Workforce Development Board for individuals who are looking for employment and employers who are looking to find their next best employee.
I'm gonna have to put a pin in that one and come back around to you because I have some ideas there. Okay. Could you describe the United Lift program and how housing providers could benefit from participating in it?
Absolutely, and I'm so, it's such a timely topic of conversation, right? Because we as a county have launched a coordinated partnership with two providers that are helping us ensure that this money gets to the intended hands. And so United Lift is the name of our program. The County of Riverside is using dollars that were received through the Department of Treasury, and we have contracted with the Inland SoCal United Way and the Lift to Rise individuals to coordinate this program. Is funding that is available for families and residents who were financially impacted by COVID and who need direct rental and utility assistance to remain in their units.
That's excellent. That's one of those things that we look for. We know as housing providers that once someone's in their unit, it's far better to keep them there. Transitioning between units is expensive for residents. It's expensive for the housing provider, and you know, that activity is so critically important right now. UnitedLift.org
will be the website that folks can go in and access the application and submit their direct request to our team.
Yeah, I was just talking to my staff about that, and they are putting together some social media activities and newsletters and stuff that we can get help support that. Looking forward to it.
Good. We definitely want to use every penny because we know that it is needed. We want to make sure people remain in units and that landlords get the rent that they have been waiting for.
Absolutely. Which residents qualify?
Well, that's I have a handy dandy form sheet. So here's how we're asking people to determine whether or not they're eligible. Number one, ask yourself if you're a resident of Riverside County. If the answer is yes, the next question is, are you a renter? If the answer is yes, then the next question is, do you have any unpaid rent or utilities after March 13th, 2020, or will you be unable to pay rent in the near future? So if the answer is yes to those questions, then the next question is, do you believe that COVID-19 has negatively impacted your ability to pay rent? The answer is yes. And your household earned less than 80% of the area median income in the year 2020, then you are eligible. So let me give you an example of that area median income so I can maybe perhaps help you identify whether or not you qualify. Let's say you're a family of one. The maximum household income for eligibility is $42,200. For a family of two, it's $48,200. For a family of three, it's $54,250, and I'll end with a family of four at $60,250. There's also a requirement for us to prioritize certain populations, and they include folks who are at the 50th percentile of the area median income, or if they've been unemployed 90 days prior to submitting the application. That opens up on Monday. So that means that if you are a 50% of area median income for a family of two, that is $30,150. For a family of four, it's $37,650. So those are the guidelines that we will be using to determine eligibility and to figure out how to prioritize who receives assistance first.
Excellent. May a housing provider apply on behalf of a resident that's eligible to receive the rental assistance?
Yes, landlords can begin the application process on behalf of the tenants, but ultimately we will have to engage the tenant to complete the process. But either the renter or the landlord can start the process.
How do housing providers learn more about the program?
Well, we have a very user-friendly website. It is live now, so you can go to unitedlift.org, but that website is what we used to launch the first version of United Lift, which we used CARES Act dollars to launch in the year 2020. So thankfully for Riverside County, our Board of Supervisors had authorized the use of CARES Act dollars for this very purpose. So thankfully for the rest of us, we've kind of worked out all of the kinks in the process, and we've modified some of the items that we had there. So it should make it an easier process for landlords and renters alike.
Excellent. Shifting gears a little bit, what other county programs are there specifically for housing providers?
For housing providers, well, if you, for instance, are assisting persons who are affected by homelessness, there is a continuum of care that gets coordinated through our department. And so we could help connect those providers with a variety of programs that are available through both the state and the federal program. As I mentioned earlier, we also do run the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And so if you have individuals who are looking to participate in that program, we can also make those connections. And then the last thing that I think sparked some interest on your end was more about the career exploration and the job connections that we can help facilitate for both unemployed or underemployed persons, as well as businesses who might be looking for their next hire.
That's excellent. On the voucher programs and things, they're key right now, because what our industry is finding is, and you guys have done an excellent job on this, is getting people into those housing units. If you identify them, working quickly to get those to get folks into those empty housing units, should they become empty, and using those vouchers to support these families during COVID right now. I think that's super key and important. And for a property owner, housing provider, what's key is it's guaranteed income by the government. They're not going to have to worry about, is the rent going to be paid or not paid. They're going to be able to make their mortgage payments and things. So it's very important for a housing provider to consider those programs right now. I know I think you guys have some veterans support programs as well, and like most counties do, and things like that. I think that's excellent. Why is it important for a housing provider to participate through the county?
Well, you did an excellent job kind of setting that up for us. I think what is truly important at this time is that I don't know if it's as a function of primarily COVID or the rental market, but families are having an extra hard time in finding those units. So if anyone, if there's any housing providers out there that are interested it's important for them to know that we've been running this program for the last 85 years. It is one of our most important values to our organization is making sure that the program is easily accessible to both the renter and the property owner. And so we go out of our way to make sure that both parties are satisfied and get what they need out of the program. So it's important to note that they matter to us and that we want them to come to us. So we go out of our way to make it accessible and easy to maneuver through. And you're right, we've never been late on our rent, not once in those 85 years. Let me knock on wood. And
absolutely. Our
agency is also has been qualified as a high performer by the federal government for the last 17 years and running. And we pride ourselves in delivering exemplary customer service. So if anybody out there is interested in joining, we would hope that they would take this opportunity to open up those units and let them be used by families who need them.
So is there a phone number or a website they can go to?
Yes, www.HARIBCO.org, and that stands for Housing Authority Riverside County.org. So HARIBCO.org.
Excellent, and we'll get that in the bits at the bottom of the video as well. I just want to touch back on the employment opportunity. Our industry has been desperate for more maintenance people for years, and it's a nationwide problem. And we are looking to hire and get people trained into the maintenance industry and into the industry for us. And we do have we do have trainers to do this, to assist in this. So we should talk offline about how we can possibly partner together. And if you can help us identify individuals, we could probably partner on getting some training and things done. So it'd be something intriguing to do.
It's music to my ears, Alan. We actually have some programs that would help pay and defray the cost of the employment, so long as you hire folks that go through our program. And that can help cover about 50% of the cost of the employee for about 6 months.
Yeah, I think we do have. I think we would have definitely have some interest there. I have a trainer that's anxious to get started on things like this, and this is just another one of the avenues that our association and our industry is very integrated in the community. What we often talk about in our association within our membership is that, your residents they're not just clients, they're your neighbors, they're your family, they're your friends, they're part of your neighborhood, which your business is part of that neighborhood. And we try and stress that, what's good for the community is good for you as well. And I can see that this might be a good additional partnership as well, and I'm looking forward to it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Only that we absolutely hold the good neighbor policy very close to our heart. The majority of our employees also reside in the county of Riverside, and they're like me, that they plan on retiring here. And so It's important to us to be good neighbors, and we treat our programs as if they are for our neighbors, because they truly are.
Yeah, that's excellent to hear. Most people don't realize that about 65, 67% of rental property owners and providers in California are what you call a mom and pop. They're people like you and me, our parents, our grandparents, our uncles and cousins that acquired rental housing along the way, whether it was like had a condo and I bought up to a single family home and I rented the condo out, or they inherited property, or it was long-term investment for them for retirement purposes. That makes up the majority of rental housing providers in California. So they are very much integrated into our communities. And I think that's a wonderful thing, if you don't mind. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And if there's anything else, let me know. We're happy to work with the County of Riverside and with your team as well. And this has again been another Southern California Rental Housing Association interview with the members of our industry. This is a different member because it's a government agency that we're working with to provide services. So thank you so much. To find our videos, you can go to youtube.com and search SoCalRHA, and you'll find a bunch of our videos. Thank you so much, Heidi. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate the opportunity.